say so, and I'm back. Before we get to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, make sure you always watch the full video.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on Chicago rapper Weddem.
Oh yeah, 1090 Jake. Congrats on hitting a million subs, bro. That's major, dog. Congrats. Even though I know this video is super late, but congrats.
Who beat 4 bodies and was just caught with a switch. January 19th, 2024. The feds executed a search warrant at 6 a.m. on an apartment in Chicago's Canaryville neighborhood located on the south side.
Sleeping. 6 a.m.
As agents began to execute the warrant with law enforcement surrounding the building, a man would be observed leaning out of a window, throwing a firearm onto the roof of the building. The weapon was photographed before being recovered and determined to be a Glock with a switch. The switch turning the semi-automatic handgun into a machine gun. The man seen throwing the Glock would be none other than 26-year-old Maurice Harris, who's also known as the Chicago rapper Drench, aka Weddem Up. Weddem Up's notorious reputation went viral back in 2017, starting with the murder of his father.
Damn.
March 29th, 2017, it was just after 11 in the morning when 37-year-old Jerry Jacobs was walking down a sidewalk in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood. That's when a dark-colored car pulled up and 4 men got out opening fire. Jacobs was shot in the right side of his body and was able to take himself to the hospital over 4 blocks away.
Damn.
Rushed into surgery, Jacobs would remain hospitalized into the night when things took a tragic turn in the early morning. At 3:40 a.m., Jacobs was pronounced dead. News would break he was a documented gang member, no suspects were in custody, and within 12 hours of his death, his son Weddem Up allegedly got his revenge.
Chicago neighborhood rocked by gun violence, the bullets flying inside a restaurant and outside as well.
At this South Shore restaurant, chaos and carnage. Relatives of those killed in tears and disbelief.
I ain't going nowhere until they get my baby up off the ground. I ain't going nowhere.
It was 4 p.m. when a man walked into a restaurant and opened fire. Officers arrived on scene finding a dead man in front of the restaurant, 2 dead men inside, and another dead man outside slumped against a tree a block away. All 4 were shot to death, and come to find out, 2 of the victims were brothers, visiting their mother who worked at the restaurant, as she had to listen to the sounds of her 2 boys being gunned down outside.
2 people in the restaurant still in there dead. He went in there and shot them 2. After he killed them 2, he came out and shot my 2 nephews and killed my 2 nephews. Whoever did it needs to step up and be accountable for their actions and get sent up for it before they get hurt out here on these streets. Cause somebody gonna hurt them.
The brothers were identified as 9.
The only thing about that, see, that's why, I feel like if you doing stuff in the street, let your family know what you doing. Like, you ain't gotta tell them, the details, but let them know that, hey, you one of them. Let them know, so therefore your family won't be on the news, on the internet. My son, my brother, my this, my that was innocent. They didn't do nothing to nobody. Your son, your brother, your uncle, whatever, probably got 10 bodies to their name and you don't even know that. Now I say that these 2 got that. I'm just saying in general speaking. You don't people, if you doing whatever you're doing, let your family know, so therefore they won't make some type of statement, because you never know. For me personally, if I'm out here doing stuff reckless, I wouldn't want my mom, my aunties, my cousin, nobody to make that statement knowing I'm doing whatever I'm doing, because that makes you look kind of embarrassing. Because it's like, what? You talking about you want this person to go turn themselves in, but did you tell your son, your brother, whoever to go turn themselves in when they was doing what they was doing? I don't think so.
18-year-old Raheem and 20-year-old Dylan Jackson. The 2 other victims were identified as 28-year-old Emmanuel Stokes and 32-year-old Edwin Davis. The broad day slaughter would shake the city, and 5 days would pass before Chicago police announced an arrest.
I'm proud to announce that we've made an arrest in a quadruple homicide that occurred on the 2700 block of East 75th Street. 19-year-old Maurice Harris has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection with this incident. This is his first arrest as an adult, and while I can't go into the specifics into his extensive juvenile history, as we've seen too many times before here in Chicago, he's no stranger to CPD.
Wet 'em Up was identified by photo lineup by multiple witnesses at the scene of the shooting. He'd be held without bond and remain in the Cook County Jail for the next 3 years until July of 2020. A court hearing would yet again shake the city as prosecutors announced the evidence was insufficient to meet the burden of proof.
Whoa.
Detectives further investigated, finding the witnesses weren't credible and evidence that Wet 'em Up couldn't have been the shooter. So while the families of the victims expected Wet 'em Up's demise, all charges against him were dropped and Wet was later freed. So the second word came that the man who beat 4 murders now had a switch. The feds quickly began their investigation. Days after the search warrant, the feds would highlight 2 music videos by Wet, one titled Death and another titled Murder Man. In both songs, Wet recited lyrics about switches and murder. Multiple lyrics would be written into the federal complaint, although at no time was Wet seen possessing an actual switch, just rapping about them. Wet would be charged with possession of a machine gun and now faces up to 10 years in federal prison. With the quadruple murder being Wet's first adult arrest and the fact that he beat all charges, Wet doesn't have much of a criminal history and luckily wasn't a felon, dodging another federal offense. Given his weak criminal history, Wet can expect anywhere from 3 to 5 years with a guilty plea. Now, Wet 'em Up is going to prison. When you get a Fed case, it's pretty much sealed. And I mean, law enforcement literally watched him lean out of a window and throw a Glock up onto the roof. Then they went on the roof, found the Glock with a switch. It's like said and done.
My thing is, bro, Glocks are easy to break down. Why you didn't break? You should have broke it down, put it all different places. The switch, you could have hit that with a hammer. I never, mind you, I've never seen the actual thing in person, so I don't even know if you could probably do it. But I think it's plastic. It should be plastic just like the gun is. Bam! Destroyed. I mean, all cities don't have, I think they might have CSIs, but they're probably so back that they're not going to take that broken up little piece of thing to go put it all back together and to figure out, oh yeah, this was the switch that he destroyed. I probably just get y'all. Damn, I probably just helped y'all commit something, boy. I hope. Hey, I'm not promoting nothing, you two. I'm just speaking in general. I'm just speaking in general, bro.
At that point, it's just gonna be a matter of how much time he gets. He can get up to 10 years, but looking into similar cases for first-time offenders or people that don't really have a criminal record like that, you got motherfuckers getting caught with switches that are getting 6 years, 5 years. A little over 2.5. So he could get, my estimate, somewhere between 3 to 5. But he's definitely going to go to prison. I mean, it's a fucking Fed case. Now, Wet was given another chance at life. He got picked up on 4 murders. Whether or not he had anything to do with it, people that didn't like him were at the scene, watched 4 people get smacked, and then said, hey, we saw him do it. We know it was him. We saw it was him. And detectives later found out that they weren't credible witnesses. They were just most likely telling on their aunt who was Wet 'em Up, whose father had just got killed. So they are the ones that most likely gave the narrative to the investigators. Yo, his dad just got shot. He must have just slid for revenge. Yeah. We saw him at the scene. And it took over 3 years for him to beat that case. Which sounds like a lawsuit in itself, because if you put me at the scene and got me charged with 4 murders because you said I was there and then it was proven I wasn't, and I just had to do over 3 years in jail, how is that not a lawsuit? But push come to shove, he got.
I think that is. I forgot what the name of that. Like, if you know the word for that. Defamation of character. Yeah, I think it's defamation of character, bro. Like, you lied on me. You said I was this, and I didn't do none of that. That is a lawsuit if you want to push that. Like who are the people? Let me get their names. Let me get a lawyer. I'm suing them. But like, I don't know. It's probably be a lot of people getting sued because there's a lot of people who are in jail who've been freed for stuff that they didn't do, and I think only less than 20% of them has actually got some money back. Like, it's crazy though.
Freed, he hit the streets. He started dropping music videos. He's talking about switches, ops, this and that. He's back in the bullshit. It doesn't really seem like he's taking that second chance at life for what it is. It seems he's more so taking it for granted. And getting caught with that switch is gonna hopefully smarten him up because he's gonna go to a federal prison. He's not gonna be in Cook County. He's gonna be around people that might be a little bit wiser. And we'll see what comes from it. But y'all gotta stop playing with them switches, because had he had a regular gun case, he just would have went to Cook County. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Or maybe he could have got a fucking gun license since he doesn't have that bad of a criminal history. But you get caught with a switch, no matter who you are, you're gone. You're going to federal prison. Like, they're not playing about them switches. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's walking around with machine guns, and that's not even a gun to just have on you. People specifically use that to go do shit with it. So it's like, you got a lot of motherfuckers that want to switch just so they look the part. Like, oh yeah, I got one of these bitches.
Yeah, I got it.
And then you get locked up and you go into the feds because you got caught with that motherfucker. Stay away from the switches. Let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section.
Real, hey, it ain't nothing we play with, bro. Like, hey, you putting, all you doing, hey, I mean, if you wanted to do the time, it is what it is. Catch you later.